right, guys, welcome back to another video. I'm sure a lot of PlayStation guys out there celebrating. I've seen it come into the comments, literally knowing they didn't play the game at all, but happy to see the demise of RedFall. And hey, they have some points. Rightfully so. The RedFall, it was a terrible release by Xbox, and it's a terrible release because they released it half-baked, essentially. Game was absolutely not ready. It should have been delayed and it should have been pushed back. Now, I did my first impressions yesterday. I played for about 3 hours of my first impressions, and I have fun playing this game. I'm enjoying myself, but I can definitely see that it is a half-baked game with poor image quality, obviously 30 FPS on Xbox, and glitches with AI and all that type of stuff. Essentially Xbox out here saying this game wasn't ready, but we wanted to push this out. We didn't want to hold it back any longer, and we were going to put it out there. They did a Cyberpunk thing here, Cyberpunk 2077, which is extremely disappointing because we saw what happened with Cyberpunk. Now, to be fair, it did recover very, very well. I don't see that happening here with Redfall. I think once patches do come out, the game has a ton of potential, and it can be something that more people will give a chance if patches do come out and there is some more PR showing that it has improved. Because the base gunplay in the game itself, I think, is actually pretty fun, but it just is, again, a half-baked game at the moment. And the scores reflect that, as it's sitting at a 64 on Metacritic. And honestly, I think rightfully so, as this is supposed to be a big AAA release from Xbox. I think the biggest thing here that makes it bad, more so than anything, is that if you don't have Xbox Game Pass, you're going to be paying $70, and absolutely nobody should be going out and paying $70 for this game in the current state that it is in. If you have Game Pass, like I said in my impressions, try it out. I mean, why not? See if you enjoy it, see if you can have fun with it. I'm going to continue to play through this game because I think there is enough fun there for me to have it, but there's just too many technical issues that for anybody in the right mind to actually recommend somebody going out and picking up and paying full price for this game. So sitting at 64 Metacritic, here are some of these scores. I got a 90 from this site somehow. I got an 80 from IGN Spain. Then we go down here. I think Xbox Era gave it like an 8.5. I've seen a bunch of 7s, seen a bunch of 7.5s and 6s and 6.5s, and then some really low scores like 4s. I believe GameSpot gave it a 4. So obviously, for the first major big AAA release that people knew was coming out, because Hi-Fi Rush was stealth dropped, which I think Hi-Fi Rush is potentially a game of the year contender. So good that game is. But for the first major game that we knew was coming out in 2023, it is not a good look here for Xbox Game Studios. And you have to ask yourself, what is the issue right now that is going on with these first party releases? Because this is a Bethesda game. This is an Arcane game. A lot of people are pointing towards Pete Hines as the person that should be taking all of the blame for this, as he's the one that controls the games coming out from Bethesda. And then you have other people out there pointing the finger at Phil Spencer. And I think at the end of the day, it all always comes down to the CEO. I don't think I see a lot of crazy people out there thinking that Phil Spencer needs to lose his job now because of this. Just absurdity, in my opinion. Xbox has really gotten better since he's been in power. He is the head guy, though, so it does eventually all fall back on him, but he's supposed to be out here trusting some of the people, executives under him, to make sure that these things are all under control. And I would point the finger, if I had to choose, probably be Matt Booty, as he is the guy who is in control of Xbox Game Studios. And I know people say he's not the person who controls Arcane, he's not the person who controls Bethesda, but because Bethesda and Arcane are Xbox Game Studios developers, he is the head of Xbox Game Studios, and I think it falls on him. There's absolutely no reason why Redfall should have been pushed out. This game should have been delayed, but we are seeing some rumors also going around that the reason they pushed it out was because Xbox was giving up on Redfall. Now, I don't know if any of this is true. This is just speculation, so don't take any of this as fact. Now, absolutely take this with a large grain of salt. This is from Peter over on Twitter, and he has this here saying, leak. According to a French gaming retailer based in Lyon, Microsoft Xbox did not believe in Redfall, wanted to end development quickly. Arcane Lyon is working on a more ambitious game. Now, this is extremely hard to believe for a couple of reasons. First of all, this game was in development for 5 years. For Xbox to come in and after they've purchased Bethesda and say, hey, you guys got to finish this game now, we are getting it out, makes no sense because they delayed it, right? It was supposed to be coming out in 2022. It got delayed until 2023. If they really just wanted to end this project, they probably would have just put it out in 2022 or just gone out and canceled it, because it would have been better for some parts of Xbox to just cancel this game because of all the negative PR right now that is being pushed onto Xbox. You have so many people out there now saying that everything falls onto Starfield. There is a lot of pressure on Starfield, of course, but people thinking that if Starfield doesn't deliver, it's the end of Xbox. Again, there's a lot of hyperbole whenever anything happens, either very good or very bad. So it's usually something in the middle as to what the actual result is going to be. But why would they have delayed this? It wouldn't make sense. And why would they market this game? There's been marketing for this game. The marketing hasn't been great. I'll give it that. It hasn't been very good marketing. I find Xbox marketing is the other thing that definitely needs work, but they have spent a lot of money on marketing. We're seeing it. We've seen a bunch of stuff on social media, and we've seen, I think there's something in London in a subway station. I believe it was London. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to find it, but it was like an entire big RedFall marketing thing there. They're spending money on this marketing. So if they just wanted this game to die, what reason would they have to just get it out there so it would be over with? I don't believe that. I think that this game is going to get a lot of patches and a lot of updates, and it's going to get to that point where it's finally at that state where they should have released it at, and it's going to be a lot better for a lot of people, because like I said in my impressions, I'm having fun with the game. There is a base game there that it can be very good. There's a ton of potential. They just released it half-baked, and it's unfortunate because it looks really bad on Xbox. It looks really bad as one of the big AAA promises that we were supposed to be getting in 2023, and it just shifts a ton of pressure over to upcoming Starfield. But I mean, it's not the end, because as we know, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, and there are rumors that Hellblade 2 is still going to be coming out this year, and you have to still have hope for all of those things. I do. I'm still excited for all of that stuff. This is just a dud release because it was in a broken state, and let's cross our fingers and hope that the updates come and the patches come and that 60 FPS on console comes, then people give it another chance. Because that's the main question here, is if this game does get to a state in the next month or 2 months or 3 months, whatever, if it gets to a state where it is an enjoyable experience across the board, will people still care, or is it now finished? That's the question, I think. And if you are Arcane, if you are the developers there and you're being forced to push this game out by Xbox, you're probably not very happy right now as to what is going on here with review scores and the way that people are perceiving the project. Now, when it comes to another game that just recently came out, a very good game from everything we're seeing, except again for the technical issues, which definitely has hurt it for a lot of people. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really give my actual opinion and impressions on the game other than the stuff that I've seen on social media. A game that I was extremely excited for was Jedi Survivor. I love Star Wars. I love the first one, so I will eventually be playing this. But it released on April 28th to a ton of technical issues that people were talking about across all the platforms, even dropping down as low as 720p on the PlayStation 5, which is absolutely, in my opinion, unacceptable. Like similar to what we're seeing with a lot of AAA games out there, unacceptable releases, especially for charging $70. And we know, first of all, this game did get delayed once, and apparently they wanted to delay it again, but the game director refused another delay. So it says here, when Star Wars Jedi Survivor launched on April 28th, it was met with some backlash over its performance on PC, from frame rate drops to stuttering and more. Many with even the most powerful machines saw problems. It led to questions about why the game wasn't pushed back to sort out those issues. If you look back, however, there was an opportunity to delay the game further. One of the Star Wars Jedi Survivor game directors, Stig Asmussen, refused. In an interview with IGN back in March, Asmussen was asked how the team at Respawn Entertainment settled on April 28th launch date after numerous delays, including one from March 17th, 2023. And he told the outlet that the team was asked how much time they needed, and they settled on 6 weeks. That was exactly April 28th. That's no joke. It then goes on to say here that there was an option of, do we want to extend it a little longer? But no, we said no, we can get it done in 6 weeks. So there was the option to extend this game in terms of having it come out probably completely with much less bugs if they were to have delayed it a little bit longer and they decided against it. And it's unfortunate because it could have released almost in a perfect state. They decided to release it in a buggier state and then push an update for the game. Now, again, I haven't played it. If you've played it with that new update, let me know what you guys think. Has it gotten any better from that new update? But it's out now. And honestly, I don't think it's going to affect sales of this game that much. It's extremely popular. And the technical issues that we have seen aren't game breaking, but they are very annoying with the overall performance of stuff that I've actually seen just on social media again, but I haven't played it. So it's just the state of AAA games that we're in right now, which is very unfortunate, where games are being pushed out when they aren't fully complete. I'm sure you have publishers out there like, we can't wait any longer. One of the things I keep going back to, a lot of it probably has to do with like financial results and publicly traded companies who need to get these games out by a drop dead date. They can't go past any further, so they're going to push it out there, whether it's completely finished or not, so that they can make some money, add that into their financial reports, make stockholders happy, all of that type of stuff. It definitely, in my opinion, I don't think it's devs who are like, we need to get this game out as soon as possible, even though it's not ready. It's got to be the publishers. It's got to be the people at the top who are making these decisions to make sure these games release by the very latest a certain dates to meet some sort of business and corporate deadlines. That's the way I'm thinking why this is continuously happening. And on top of that, of course, these games are much bigger. The scope is bigger. The graphics are getting better. There's so much more that goes into these games that it's almost seemingly like a lot of these developers can't handle all of that stuff into a single game with these newer platforms, that they're just missing a bunch of stuff in QA testing. QA testing obviously needs to improve, especially on the Xbox side of things when we see a thing like RedFall. But Jedi Survivor, other than the technical issues, I'm hearing an absolutely incredible game. So I will eventually be playing that. Now, finally, Pro consoles. Mid-gen refreshes. We continuously have heard the rumors about a PlayStation 5 Pro over and over and over again. We haven't really heard anything about an Xbox Pro or an Xbox mid-gen refresh, but PlayStation 5 mid-gen refresh, whether that is a slim version or a pro version, we keep hearing this. And now there's reports saying that PlayStation 5 Pro dev kits are being sent out this year, which essentially would say the PS5 Pro is confirmed if this report is true. It says PS5 Pro dev kits are expected to be in the hands of first-party Sony Interactive Entertainment developer studios like Naughty Dog, Insomniac Games, Sucker Punch, and others in a few months, sources told Insider Game. According to a new report from the Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson, who is a leaker and has gotten a lot of stuff right, Sony is ramping up the production of PS5 Pro dev kits to introduce developers to the new hardware. The final retail PlayStation 5 Pro is expected to launch in 2024, and Sony is arming its teams with the upgraded consoles in an effort to push their first-party games beyond the current capabilities of the PS5. However, PS5 Pro specs and performance targets for upgraded games remain unclear, which is crazy to think about because of how well the PS5 currently is selling, where they finally have gotten in stock up to the point where it is meeting demand, where people pretty much on any time can go out and pick up a PS5, and it's showing how it's increasing the sale of the console itself. But they're getting ready now to release a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm assuming they do this because they've gotten the current PS5 down to a cost that is very cheap for them to make, where they're making a ton of money off it, and they're going to be able to offset some of that by adding a more expensive console and giving people that other option, that extra SKU, if they don't want to pick up the regular PS5 and then take the PS5 that's currently out there and drop the price of it and just make it an even better deal, maybe even competing with the price of the current Xbox Series S. And if that's the case, you're going to see Microsoft probably slash this price of the Series F even more. So it'll be very interesting. To see. In terms of Xbox, though, are they getting a mid-gen refresh? I don't see why we would need a PS5 Pro. I don't see why we would need an Xbox Series X Pro right now. We haven't even come close to reaching the potential of these consoles. So it just doesn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, it's probably all from them crunching their numbers and the business side of things, where they think it would make sense. By 2024, they probably believe they will have such a huge install base of the current PS5 that they can, like I said, cut the current price of it and just make that the bargain console for PlayStation, and then have this more premium version of the PS5 Pro, where a lot of people will go out and buy it and upgrade from their current PlayStation 5. My hopes are with the PS5 Pro is that they figured out a better design for the launch of it. It's not the gargantuan size that we have currently of the PS5. And then I also hope at the same time that they release alongside that a PlayStation 5 Slim, because I would trade in my PS5 to get a Slim as soon as I could, to be honest. So the rumors aren't going away, and it looks like a mid-gen refresh is coming. If the PS5 Pro comes out and it's significantly more powerful than the Xbox Series X, I feel like Xbox is in the background right now looking at what they're going to be doing to be able to compete as well with the PS5 Pro in terms of power. But I will leave the video there, guys. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.